Number 6, please stand for our invocation led by Dr. Keith Moore, St. James Missionary Baptist Church, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Shall we pray? Father, we come now asking thee that I would bless this council, give them wisdom and knowledge to carry out their moral, public, and political responsibility. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Vice President Manzi.
Here.
Councilmember Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Mall.
Here.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Councilmember Gregory. Statement of rules.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I heard Good Shepherd. The statement of rules. We ask that you would turn off or silence all electronic devices before or upon entering our meeting. Any person desiring to address the council must sign in, indicating the resolution, ordinance, appeal, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, we ask that the speaker clearly state your name and your mailing address. If you'd like to speak on a non-agenda item, you must sign in with the city clerk's office on the Thursday by 2 p.m. prior to the council meeting in which you'd like to speak. If you don't follow those rules, you won't be allowed to address the council. Any person addressing the council is granted 5 minutes. A bell will sound to indicate the end of 4 minutes. That means you have 1 minute remaining to summarize. The second bell indicates that your time has expired. When addressing the council, there is to be no personal address to any individual council member. All statements are to be made to myself, who serves as chair, who will recognize any council member who wishes to respond. To maintain decorum, there will be no undue applause and or public outcry allowed. Again, good morning, and thank you for your interest in your local government. Madam City Clerk.
Approval of minutes of October 30th.
So moved. Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Communications from the mayor's office.
Nothing here.
Adoption of the agenda.
Yeah. Well, we have a, before we would
I'm
move
sorry.
with the agenda,
That's right.
we do have a special presentation with, sure,
That's okay.
Mrs. Councilwoman Besridge, District 6.
It's truly my pleasure to introduce the ladies that will come down to the podium, if that's okay, or Joyce, if you want to start out. This is to award Quilts of Valor, which is a foundation that began in 2003 when a lady by the name of Catherine Roberts' son was deployed to Iraq, and she had a dream and that he needed comforting. So she made a quilt, and it just grew exponentially from there because it is a nationwide foundation today, and over 200,000 quilts have been awarded. And I'll let Joyce Reed give you some background on what's done locally, and so there you go. Thank you.
We've already been out at J.E. Turner Elementary this morning honoring one of our school teachers who spent many years in Iraq and Afghanistan area. We told the kids that today it's 2018, and this Sunday we'll celebrate the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the end of World War I, 100 years. And it hit me when I realized this is 2018. It's been 100 years since my mother was a 6-month old when World War I was ended. Many countries call it Armistice Day or Remembrance Day. We in the U.S. have since World War II begun to call it Veterans Day in honor of our veterans who served our country in many ways. As Beth said, the Quilts of Valor is foundation, is an organization that honors our veterans. We are 10,000 men and women strong who make quilts. We make tops, and then someone else provides the batting and the backing and layers the quilt together. We bind them and then award them to veterans who served our country. It began because Catherine Roberts had a dream that her son was in the despair that war demons and the military will wrap you in. And she also, in that dream, saw the calm spirit that came after he was wrapped in a quilt in the second portion of her dream, and realized that quilts equal healing. So she got her friends together, and after they did 100 quilts, she realized this can't stop here. This has got to go nationwide. So we're now a 501c3 organization, and we get words like this from our veterans. This is a World War II veteran named Raymond. His daughter's thank you note said, "As Dad has lived his life, and he's 95 years old now, he's been amazed at what he did for love of country, and his duty to protect his family would be recognized as anything special. But his Quilts of Valor has quickly become a special gift that's carried proudly to show friends and family members all over." Vietnam veterans say it's the first time we've been told thank you, that somebody appreciated what we did for our service for our country. Others are saying, "I take meds to help with my PTSD, to help me to sleep at night. I've gotten a quilt, and I no longer need the meds because I know that somebody cared that I have comfort from that quilt." We have stories like this all over the country, including the woman who says, "I want to thank you for what you did for me because you gave me back my husband. He suffered greatly from PTSD. He told me he would help me do Quilts of Valor by driving. I don't like to drive to strange places, doing presentations at night, that kind of thing. And once he started driving me, he realized what an important mission this is, what he could do for others who served his country. And now he's learned to sew. He's made his friends quilt. And when I asked him what he wanted to do for Father's Day, he told me, he said, "Well, I want to go fishing after we go to church, but maybe on the way to the fishing hole we can hit a quilt shop, buy some more fabric so we can make some more quilts." So these stories are the ones that make it real to us, that it's making a difference to those who are receiving the quilts. So today we have two here that we would like to honor. The first, we honor locally a fireman and then a policeman. Leslie Luttrell II began his 10 years of service as a United States Marine, where they all began when they live on the east side of the Mississippi River at Parris Island in South Carolina. His first duty station was at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, with his infantry unit. He served 2 combat tours in Kosovo and in Iraq. His final rank was that of sergeant. During his time in the service, he received 2 Good Conduct Medals, 2 Kosovo Campaign Medals, the Armed Forces Service Medal, the Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal, 3 NATO medals, the National Defense Medals, 2 Iraq Campaign Medals, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, the Navy Achievement Medal, and numerous service ribbons. His final rank was that of sergeant. As a civilian, he's been employed with the Mobile Fire Rescue Department. His hobbies are powerlifting and hunting. He and his family are active at Liberty Missionary Baptist Church. He's married with 2 children. Leslie states that he was dog on the best engine company for the city of Mobile, Engine 3. Today, we thank Leslie for his service to his country and to our community with his very own Quilts of Valor. Welcome home, sir. It's also been recommended that we honor Lawrence L. Batiste IV. He gave the United States Navy and the Army Reserves 18 years of service to his country. He began his training in San Diego, California. San Diego Naval Base is the principal home port of the Pacific Fleet, consisting of 46 Navy ships, 1 Coast Guard cutter, 7 military Sea Lift Command logistical support platforms, and several research and auxiliary vessels. His first duty station was aboard the USS Vulcan in Norfolk, Virginia, where he was a second-class petty officer. He worked as a dental assistant and served his country during Operation Desert Freedom. He received the Army Achievement Medal and left the service with the final rank of Staff Sergeant. In his civilian life, he's worked with the Mobile Police Department and is currently serving as Mobile's Chief of Police. His community activities include the Boy Leadership Program, SCORE or SCORE, and the Fatherhood Initiative. He's an active deacon at Revelation Missionary Baptist Church. He and his wife have been married 34 years and have 3 lovely children. Today we recognize Chief Batiste with his very own Quilts of Valor and thank him for protecting our many freedoms. Welcome home, Chief Batiste. Thank you for the opportunity to come, and we look forward to making our next 100 quilts, assuming that we get our financing. We're getting some financing from the city, and we greatly appreciate it. If anybody else wants to help us learn to sew, we'll be glad to teach you. We meet in Mr. Small's district, I believe it is, down at the Sales Center on the island once a month, and sew our Quilts of Valor there. We sew them at our homes. But if you'd like to learn to sew or already have a machine and know how, join us. You can help us produce the 100 plus. We hope this next year too.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And to the 2 recipients, you certainly have our heartfelt thanks and support for all that you've done and all you've sacrificed in the pursuit of liberty and justice in the American way. Thank you all so much. Let's give them another big round of applause.
Adopted agenda.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is adopted.
Appeals, we have requests for a waiver of the noise ordinance on November 18th on Somerville Street and November 10th on Alba Street.
So move.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Public hearings today is a public hearing to determine if the following structures are public nuisance ordering them demolished: 2701 Elsmore Street, 2656 Pleasant Valley Road, 151 Union Avenue, 1413 Windsor Avenue.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak on any of the properties referenced by our city clerk in the public hearing? Is there anyone here that would like to speak in a public hearing on any other properties that our city clerk just referenced? If not, the public hearings are concluded.
Public hearing today is a public hearing to fix cost demolition of the following structures: 1059 Bay Avenue, 1700 Sligo Street, 718 Johnston Avenue, 1572 Robert E. Lee Street, 704 South Carolina Street.
Anyone that would like to speak on any of those properties? If not, public hearings are closed.
Today is the public hearing to rezone property at 3262 Old Carline Street, northeast corner of Old Carline Street and First Street from R1 and B1 to B3.
So move. Oh, no.
It's a public hearing.
Anyone would like to offer any commentary on this particular property? Now the public hearing is closed.
Public hearing to rezone property at 3703 Old Shell Road, southwest corner of Old Shell Road and Wacker Lane from R1 to LB2.
believe we have someone that would like to.
My name's Todd Dempsey. I'm with the company that's applied for the rezoning, so I'm here to answer any questions anybody may have.
What is your address?
143 Myrtlewood Lane, but I'm here to answer any questions on this particular item if there are any, but other than that, I don't have anything
Anyone
else
have
to
any
say.
questions? If not, the public hearing is
Thank you.
closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Randy Parker.
Come on.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Randy Parker, as you know. I'm 43 years old. I'm homeless. I'm new to Mobile. I was begging for change on Spring Hill and Broad Street. I didn't know it was illegal to do that. A few cop cars had passed me by. They didn't say anything. I was trying to get in touch with the police department to figure out was this illegal or not. Finally, a police officer pulled me over the day after I was first out there, and she told me that it was illegal. It was called a panhandling charge, and luckily she didn't arrest me. I gave her my sign that said, I'm homeless and could you spare any change? And I'm here today to ask, can that law be dropped from Mobile County, at least until I can get on meet and find a job, which I have been trying to do, and I haven't been successful. I even applied for SSI disability, and it takes a while to go through. I have a big backpack with a mat on it. Sometimes I live on the road, the streets, to survive. I know it's the Salvation Army and it's a waterfront, but I can't stay there all the time, so I have to find somewhere to go. I even live, unfortunately, in an abandoned house across the street from the Salvation Army. It's not good, so I don't live in there anymore, so I don't want to get arrested for anything that's already been open. Over there, the house was already open, so I don't want to be to blame for it, so I just live on the streets in safe places. And the police don't seem to bother me about it, but I want to see if I can get that law dismissed so I can have some money in my pocket. I don't have a bank account. I don't have a credit union account or anything. A job right now, anything. What do you all think?
If I could ask you, Mr. Parker, where did you come to Mobile from?
I came from a small town called Summerdale. I'm originally from Greater Detroit, Michigan. Born and raised in Michigan. And both of my parents are deceased. I moved down here for a better life. The economy was pretty bad at me up north. I don't like the cold weather, so I came down here to stay with a few other relatives, and unfortunately it didn't work out. They put me out of their house, so I came over here, and I wanted to come to Mobile anyway because there's better opportunities. They have a better bus system than the Baldwin County area. So,
Did you panhandle in Summerdale?
I did.
Nobody bothered you?
The police would pull me over and take my driver's license and let the other cops know that I was out there, so they don't have to come back around to ask me for anything, for any reason.
Do you have a cell phone?
Yes, I have a government track phone.
Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Farley, we already have his information, correct? His cell phone number and all of that. If you could get that, Mr. Parker, the answer, let me first say my heart goes out to you. And you are panhandling in my council district. And my heart goes out to you, the condition.
Thank you. excuse me for cutting you off. I thought panhandling was trying to sell items. I didn't know bag and change was considered panhandling.
Well, it's a form of it, and all of that is legal. What you just referenced, this is my point. What you really need is not for us to wholesale change a law. The law is in place in order to keep decorum and public safety to all of the people that come in and out of our beautiful city. So it's not the law change you need. You really need somebody to work with you to help get you a job, a stable place to live. Panhandling is not the answer. And I see you have some form of disability, but you're an intelligent and articulate man who ought to be able, from what I'm hearing, to successfully find work. According to the commercials I'm hearing day in and day out, Alabama's unemployment rate is the lowest it's ever been. So, well, let me finish. What I'm interested in is working with you to get the support you need to get you off the street panhandling, because that's what's going to be sustainable.
I am working with some counselors that are trying to help me find work. I'm in the Housing First program. I don't have any transportation. They only provide a few bus tickets at these places, and as soon as something's up, I might need a bus ticket. And if I had some money in my pocket, I'd just go ahead and go.
Right, but the money in your pocket needs to come from you working, not from you on the downtown streets panhandling. And that's what we want to work with you to try to resolve. So, Ms. Fowler, if you could get his contact information. I know some people personally in leadership at some of these area initiatives and entities that work with the homeless population. I'm going to make the calls personally to see what we can do to help you get something sustainable. Because standing on the corner of Spring and Broad, you're going to run into trouble with the law enforcement, and I don't want to see you go down that road.
Right. That was right across the street from the police department.
Right. So they're going to get you every time. Okay. If you could give Ms. Fowler your information, we're going to work to see who we can get involved to really help you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
David Smith.
This is a good man to know right here, Dave Smith. Good union man. Could possibly help you. I would sit right there and wait on him to finish and get his contact information. And you never know. You won't grow unless you plant it.
I agree.
Plant the seed with David is well connected internationally with the union and the NAACP.
Hold on.
I'm just saying, he can help you. Mr. Smith?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Again, my name is David Smith. I live at 6861 Greenway Drive, president of the local branch of the NAACP. God bless America.
God bless America.
I hope everybody's intending on voting. It is our right. It is almost a duty to get out and make sure that we maintain the republic as we would like it fashioned. I'd like to say thank you to this council for being responsive in the things that we were bringing to your attention about the city workers. Over and over again, we showed up. You did respond. Other portions of it still haven't, but there seems to be progress. And we're hopeful that once the investigation is done and complete, we'll have a thorough understanding of what's going on in the city in regards to the treatment of these dedicated men and women in public service. I spoke with a gentleman on the way here that worked for the Parks Division. He said, well, you know what, the raise is really good, but what about dignity and respect? What about how people are treated as they work? I have no answer. Once this investigation is completed, I'm hoping that this council will see fit to make all of that information available to the public so we can understand exactly what's going on. I'm hopeful that everyone will really get behind these city workers. They are dedicated. They're dedicated. And they're only seeking a decent existence. This guy says every time we get a small raise, the insurance gobbles it up inside of 6 weeks, inside of 6 months. These are the kinds of things that these people are concerned about. They're employed. They work for a beautiful city. They work for a city that is thriving and getting better by the day. But you still have situations like our brother here. You know, we need to find a way to make sure that the wealth that is created is distributed equally, or, you know, we take care of the least of ourselves. The city workers are desperately trying to make a living on a pretty low wage. And I'm hopeful that you guys will make public everything that you find, and we can make some changes that will be lasting. But again, I do appreciate you guys actually taking a serious look at what we've been describing for the last 8 months. Thank you so much for that. And again, God bless America.
From sea to shining sea.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
CIP resolutions is held over. 21770, authorized contract with Ozark Striping for application of thermoplastic striping on various streets.
So moved.
Second.
Probably motion and second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
I know that many people in our city are anxiously awaiting this contract to go out the door and to return its service to the community on street striping. I do want the administration to be aware that there is in the district that I represent, which is called Providence Park Drive South, and that is due to also be resurfaced and restriped with the county pay-as-you-go, the 16, well, no, the upcoming one. So assuming that it passes to today, I didn't know whether there would be a need to keep that one on the list if indeed it was going to be done through the county. So I just wanted the administration to be aware of that. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Not? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passed.
Resolutions held over. If there are no objections, I'll take all of these together.
If you could do that with the rest of the agenda, that'd be appreciated.
Okay. 09771, reallocate monies from miscellaneous city drainage, Alabama Municipal Trust Fund construction to Alabama Municipal Trust Fund, McNally Park dredging. 13772, authorized change order number 1 to the contract with CNC Marine for McNally Park maintenance dredging. 21773, authorized contract with A1 Fire Protection for fire sprinkler repairs, various buildings. 21774, authorized contract with Bard & Associates for parking deck repairs, Phase 2, Mobile, Alabama Cruise Terminal. 6075, authorize an investigation into the working conditions in the public department and appoint a special counsel to assist in the investigation.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? Councilman Davis?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I am going to be voting against 6775, and I wanted to spend just a minute to talk about why I'm going to be doing that. And I want to start off first by saying that I have, I understand and agree with the fact that the council has the ability to launch this investigation. However, I think there are 3 reasons why this resolution is unwise. The first is that the state of Alabama has created an entity to resolve workplace issues, to address workplace issues, and that is the Mobile County Personnel Board. The City Council has no ability to redress workplace grievances. That authority, as I said, has been vested by the state of Alabama, by the legislature, in the Mobile County Personnel Board, and in the mayor. So I think that I don't, this way. If there was a resolution before us to recommend that the Mobile County Personnel Board conduct an investigation, I'd be fully supportive of that. But the City Council has no ability to redress these grievances. The investigation ought to be done by the Personnel Board. Second, I think that this is an effort to pit the city council, at least in part, an effort to pit the city council against the mayor, and I think that's unwise for the city of Mobile. And thirdly, I think this creates a disturbing precedent and creates the wrong impression, creates the impression that there is something the Mobile City Council can do to redress workplace grievances. And I expect that as a result of this action, we will continue to have employees come to the council thinking we have this ability and asking us to launch similar investigations. So again, I want to say again, I'm fully in favor of the Personnel Board conducting such an investigation, but for the reasons I've mentioned earlier, I'm opposed to the council launching this particular investigation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Daves. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Thank you very much. I thought long and hard about this because doing an investigation is indeed a most unusual aspect of our authority. But I got the impression in talking, at least listening to the employees that came down for numerous times about their concerns, and I have no way of knowing at all, you know, where the truth lies or what is going on, nor is it part of my job description to get into the day-to-day operations by any means, and I look forward to going there. I don't see this necessarily as being against the administration by any stretch of the imagination. I believe it should be welcomed, and I'm hoping that it's welcomed because both sides will have an equal opportunity to put all their information forward to this individual, which the city will hire, the city council hopefully will hire through the affirmative vote on this particular resolution. And the gentleman that's been recommended knows this concept of management and employee doctrine and how it mets out and what needs to be done to get to the bottom of anything that is of concern. The greatest concern that I have is simply that my phone is ringing when your trash is not picked up. And so I know that there is something wrong with the service. What is wrong, I have no earthly idea. I can't defend either side because I do not know. And I'm hoping, again, that through this investigation, there is a clearing of the air, good communication, and a knowledge of what could change perhaps on either side of the aisle. So again, I'm wide open to this, and I don't see it as a mean-spirited thing to do or a way to get back at either side of the equation, but to solve the problem that I know my constituents are suffering from in getting their quality service that they expect. So in that regard, I'll be supporting this.
Thank you, Councilor Rich. Mr. Rich?
Yes, the issue of legitimacy, the Zachary Act gives the council full credit and full authority to investigate any individual of the city, any organization, any agency of the city. So the idea that somebody else ought to be doing it and not the city council, we have full authority. Full authority has been invested in this council to investigate any agency of the city or any city employee. And that's what we're doing. So we're not outside of the law. We are within the law.
Anyone else?
I want to make it somewhat clear, if you give me just a minute. I'm simply going to say that the council itself, we're not forming a jury. We are not going to subpoena and question and do all those things. This council, I think the further we are away from this, the better. And that is the way the law, as I understand it, is intended. What we are doing is we are going to hire somebody, and I hope that there is good news and necessary bad news, if it is so, all discovered, and that all that is happening, good and bad, is revealed, so that We can then turn it over to the proper authorities, as Mr. Daves points out, and let them handle it through their system. This council is prohibited from dealing in personnel issues, but we are not prohibited. In fact, we are enabled by law to direct investigation, and that's what this is doing. Thank you.
Mr. Daves?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, as I said twice during my comments, I do not dispute that the City Council has the power to authorize this investigation. The question is whether the City Council should authorize it in this particular matter. Thank you.
Vice President.
Mr. Small.
Thank you so much. I'd like to join some of my colleagues talking about this particular resolution that's in front of us today. As some of my colleagues have stated, that the state law, pretty much just describes that the council has every right to ask questions, especially even to launch investigations. The issue that I have is every time, I go to a store or go to a church, or go to a community meeting, people are asking me, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. I can't get them answered because I don't know. This investigation will open up eyes for me, for I can respond back to the citizens of Mobile that is paying, taxes to the city employees and for their trash to be picked up, because simply I just don't know. I am glad to see that this resolution, is on our agenda. Hopefully that it'll go ahead and pass on today. And reference, against the council, against the administration. I believe and I bet that that statement is very false, because the council for the last 3 weeks has been asking for a retreat, not just among us, but with the mayor. And the mayor is the administration, and he is the, he is over, personnel. So if we did not want to retreat, and we state we didn't want to retreat, that means we're not trying to work with the administration, we're trying to fight against the administration. But we're asking for a retreat where we can all get together, but we can all stay on the same page. But we still owe our citizens responsibility in finding out questions that they ask. And that's the reason that we are here at the table, to find out what is going on, so we can convey back to our citizens. Thank you, Vice President.
Mr. Vice President.
Mr. Richardson?
I would just like to say that it would appear from Councilman Dave's comment that the council leaped off into this without giving the administration a chance to conduct his own investigation. Our council vice president wrote the mayor and gave him a list of the complaints that had been alleged before us, and asked him, would he please investigate these complaints and let us know his finding. The mayor did not respond. So the Zogby Act 1144C-21 deals with the power of council, deal with officers and employees in administrative services. Section 4 said the council has the authority to inquire into the conduct of any office, department, or agency of the city and make investigations as to municipal affairs. That's what we're doing. But this is not what we decided to do first, because the mayor is in charge of public works. We asked him to conduct that investigation. He refused. We are going to do it. We have the power to do it and the will to do it. We will do it.
I would have to be in congruency with most of what my colleagues have said. This is power that we have the ability to move forward with, and from all indications, the administration has not notified us any opposition. I've heard from our city attorney that they would welcome a move of this nature. So I don't see this as it being in conflict with the administration. The truth should be able to stand. I'm proud that we have a top-notch jurist who's going to lead this effort, one who comes to the table with no natural or unnatural biases. His goal should be, well, it might be funny to you, but it's not funny to me. When you get men and women who leave their job, leave their post of duty to come down here and tell us that they've got issues in the department, it's serious. For a man to risk his employment, to come down here, 20 or 30 of them came, asking for us to give them some redress of their concern. And it may be information that the administration is not aware of, that hopefully will be uncovered or be brought to light as a result of this. So I'm in favor of the investigation, and if it comes back that all that's been alleged by the employees is not true, then we would have had an unbiased person who can go and do that research and let us know that. I have complete confidence in the attorney that's been recommended, because he has absolutely nothing to gain from being jaundiced one way or the other. But what I do know is for about a year they've been coming to this meeting asking for whatever they could get that we could give them, and all that we can give them is what's in Zogby, and what's in Zogby is the ability to investigate. And there's this argument that they ought to go to the personnel board. Well, let them go. But they'll have these findings to go with, one way or the other. So this is a serious matter to me, because many of these men and women live in my district, worship in our churches, shop in our stores, and are citizens of this city. And we're getting emails, phone calls, text messages, Facebook messages about this not being picked up, that not being picked up. There's a reason for all of that. And nobody's going to walk a job to come down here at 10:30 if it was not something going on. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis?
I want to be absolutely clear. I support an investigation, but an investigation that by a body that has the power to act.
Which is what this
body does not have the power to redress those grievances.
We have, read the Zogby. Zogby gives us the power to investigate. So the body that you're suggesting is the body that you sit on.
No, sir. This body does not have the power to redress those grievances. It is specifically vested by the legislature and the Mobile County Personnel Board, and that's the entity that ought to conduct the investigation.
We just vote your conviction, Joe.
Time will tell.
Vote conviction. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Are we ready to vote?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Madam City Clerk?
Yes.
If not, all in favor? Aye. All in opposition?
No.
6 in favor, in the affirmative, 1.
Five.
Council
No,
Joe,
five.
5.
Five in
Oh,
favor.
pardon me, Gina Gregory's not here. 5 for the moving forward, 1. Council Joe Thomas Davis, District 5.
Ordinance is being introduced for the first 64029 through 84031.
By Council rules, these ordinances will live for 1 week.
No, he called that one out. He did call it out.
What's the number you said?
I'm sorry, excuse me, there was discussion. Mr. Davis did call out 6775, that he would be voting no on
Yes, he did.
67. Because I read them all together.
I'm in favor of the others.
Yes, I read them all together. He voted no.
Thank you.
Okay, your ordinance is from 64029 through what?
84031.
Did we not add one?
Not under ordinances, no. under resolutions.
Oh, on resolution, okay. These ordinances will be leveled for 1 week by county councilors.
Consent resolutions is being introduced for the first time, 4777 through 6789.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 4777 to 60789.
9. Second.
We have a second.
It's been properly motion and seconded. Discussion?
What's that? Okay.
If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
4777, 778, 779, 780, 781, 782, 783, 784, 785 are declaring structures public nuisances and ordering them demolished. 2701 Elsmore Street, 2656 Pleasant Valley Road, 151 Union Avenue, 1413 Windsor Avenue, 1059 Bay Avenue. Oh, I'm sorry. 1059 Bay Avenue, 1700 Sligo Street, 718 Johnston Avenue, 1572 Robert E. Lee Street, and 704 South Carolina Street are fixing the cost for the demolition of those structures. 58786 assessed cost for removal of weed, Weedling Group 1576. 6787, 788, 789 are determining expenditures of discretionary funds for contribution to Village of Spring Hill, Mobile Area Disc Golf Association, and the United Way of South Alabama serve a public purpose and approve payment.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Mrs. Ritt?
I would just like to thank the group who organized and became a 501c3 in the course of less than a year in order to receive funds from the city for the disc golf course, which is at Medal of Honor Park and very well received and very busy. They will continue to raise funds and they are going to make the improvements, and I know that our city will be better for it. And again, I thank that group. They're active. They are actually participants in the disc golf, but they took it upon themselves to organize, and I thank them for that. And look forward to working with them in the future as well, and thank the council for supporting the initiative of giving discretionary funds to that group. Thank you.
Thank you. On item 6789, I join with it's Brett Barkin and the shoe station locations across the Gulf Coast in contributing to the Hurricane Michael recovery efforts. I know of individuals personally impacted by the storm and strength of the hurricane. Nobody was expecting it to be as traumatic as it has been, and were it not for the grace of God, that could have easily happened right here in the Mobile area. Mr. Daves?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Yes, sir.
I would just like to say that these funds from my discretionary funds will be used by the Village of Spring Hill to maintain the median between Rhymes Road and Ashley Drive on Dolphin Street. And this median was beautified and enhanced using completely private funds last year from a very generous donor. And this will allow that median to continue to be attractive. And I would just, while I'm on this, I would just urge all residents. We've spent a lot of money and time trying to make our roadways look nice, and particularly this section of Dolphin Street. And we continue to have people every day throwing litter out on that part of Dolphin Street, and I just don't understand it. Wish people would keep their trash inside their vehicles. Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
I agree with you. And I have the same issues on Dolphin Street. I have worked tirelessly to try to rebuild the sidewalk infrastructure. And our entertainment district court, I drive by cars and trucks parked on the sidewalks. Go to a parking space. Go to a parking space, and I really wish there was a remedy, Because the very second that there's a crack on the sidewalk, then you're gonna want us to come and replace the sidewalk. Don't park your cars, don't park your trucks on the sidewalk. It's ridiculous. We spend a lot of money and an inordinate amount of resources trying to fix these sidewalks up, and you park your big souped up truck on it. And I know the restaurants that are doing it and the bars, I'm gonna turn it over to the administration because it's ridiculous. And there's parking. It'd be different if there were not parking. There's ample parking. When I drive by, they would have gone by a parking spot with 5 or 6 places for you to park so they could park their big souped up truck with the big tires, 1,000-pound tires on that sidewalk, and then when it breaks, you're going to want us to fix it. And I'm going to get to these businesses and the bars, and I'm going to turn it over to the administration. So hopefully they can dispatch some enforcement people out. And if we don't have a law against parking on the sidewalk,
yes, we do.
We need to have one.
We do.
Well, then it needs to be enforced.
You can't block them.
Because it's ridiculous. This truck was parked right in front of where the wheelchair, handicap accessible individuals need to be able to have access. And they do it at night. They do it on cover of darkness. And I believe the administration needs to send some enforcement at night. Because I'm tired of looking at it. And I saw a person trying to push a person over to the hump to get over to the sidewalk, and they can't do it because you got your souped up truck. And it's this one truck in particular. I hope I see you tonight or any other night. I'm going to get your license because it's ridiculous. Where are we on voting on this agenda item?
We're voting.
Any further discussion?
No.
If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item passes.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 21790 through 21792.
Said resolution will lay over for 1 week by council rules.
Announcements.
Mr. Williams?
I just have one request, and that's of the administration. I have 2 meetings on Thursday that are annual community action group meetings that have been requested that either mayor or chief, rather the director of public safety be present at. I've informed them. I just need an answer one way or the other so I can let them know. Thank you now.
Mr. Small?
Thank you, Vice President. On this Wednesday evening, I had an opportunity to join the Maysville Community Action Group in the annual Halloween festivities. If many of y'all have watched Channel 10 on last week, you saw them. They had a haunted house in the middle of the neighborhood. Hundreds of people was out there, plenty of food. I think I had sent my colleagues, Mizzy and Richardson, some of my food of some lobster that I had. They didn't respond back. But they did tell me to invite the council next year to the Haunted House Community Action Group Halloween Festival. Again, it was great fun last week, very safe environment, very fun environment, and again, looking forward, for next year. On last Saturday, I had an opportunity to go down to the BC Rain High School, where the group Revitalized DIP had a special community rally. It was supported by many vendors. Many people came out, and it was a great activity. Thanks to Lawrence Batiste, Chief Lawrence Batiste, for coming out, and his organization for coming out, bringing out the swap, the different police cars. It was a great event for the community. I'd like to send a shout out to Ms. Yvette Young for putting it together, and something they are trying to do annually. Also, I told you on last week that the holidays is approaching, and I was going to come out this week with some dates. District 3, mark your calendars, December the 10th. We will be having our annual community Christmas party at the Maryvale Elementary School. The last years it was at Pillins, but we're going to move it over to Maryvale on this year, and that will be on December the 10th at 6 o'clock p.m. Inviting all the citizens in District 3 to come out for this grand occasion. Also, Vice President, the principal at Maryvale, she told me to make sure I extend you a special invitation so you have a month, you know, to get to Maryvale on the 10th of December. And also on the 15th of December, which will be a Saturday at 2:00 p.m., will be our 4th annual Raise of Threes. This is primarily the only Christmas parade, holiday parade that's in the city of Mobile, sponsored by District 3, myself, and also State Representative Barbara Drummond, House 103. Last year we had 17,000 people that attended down DIP. I know some of my colleagues be bragging about, you know, the thousands of people that they have in their neighborhood. Again, this is the 4th year at 17,000 on last year. Looking for it to be better and bigger on this year. Again, it will be on Saturday, December the 15th at 2:00 p.m. and we will be rolling down Dolphin Island Parkway. Thank you, Vice President Manzi.
Thank you, Councilman C.J. Small of the Great Third District.
Oh, one more thing, and
Yes,
I'd like to extend congratulations to my colleague, Pastor LaVon Manzi. Was installed this past Sunday and had an opportunity to attend St. Joseph Baptist Church, Pritchard, Alabama, Whistler.
Thank you.
And it was a great race on this past Sunday. Again, congratulations to Vice President Pastor Manzi.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Mr. Richardson?
Thank you. I was also on Friday night at the St. Joseph Baptist Church. That was the initial celebration. I had Reverend Baker there preaching about telling the truth, and it was outstanding, well attended. Pastor Baker had to take the microphone from him. He was gone. So it was outstanding service. I was happy that I was counted among those who attended. I would have attended Sunday, but I was out of town. I would like to announce that I will be holding a Midtown community meeting on Thursday, November the 15th at the Ashland Place United Methodist Church. Starting at 6 p.m. Asking all of the citizens in the Midtown area to please come out and be informed. We will be talking about the upcoming CIP projects that's online. It has been a lot of venues added to the village where Publix is located up there. We're going to have someone to talk to us about what's coming in all of those shops. We know we have Taco Mama that is already open, and we have a Greek restaurant. If it's not open, it'll be open by this week's end. But there are numerous other venues coming to that plaza, and I want somebody's going to be there to bring us up to date on that. Numerous major drainage projects going on in Midtown. You know, Dolphin Street was closed for several weeks. It's open now, but Florida Street, east and west, north and south of Dolphin Street is still closed, and we'll know more about that. I'm going to have Nick Amberger at the meeting to talk to us about that drainage project there. We're going to have the police chief come and bring us up to date on public safety, but we'll also have the captain of the 4th precinct, or the 3rd precinct, I'm sorry, to come and talk to us about the Midtown beat, what's happening within our beat. So we're going to close out listening to our citizens. It's a time for the citizens to come and tell us the issues that they are concerned with, so we can go back and work on those issues. So asking all citizens, please come out on the 15th, Thursday, November 15th, at the Ashland Place United Methodist Church. They are installing lighting at the basketball court at Figures Park. Excuse me. They're finishing up, in fact, with the lighting, and I'm going to schedule a basketball game, again, between the police and fire. I've already met with staff, Deidre Fairley over there, to work on this and get us a firm date that we can open up, when the park is already open, that we can have the game and cut the lights on so the neighborhood will see how it's going to look when the lights are on. We hope to have, the day we cut the lights on, we hope to have cameras. We don't intend to have people coming up there trying to destroy what we'll work so hard to install up there. We want the park to maintain beautiful, vibrant, and we would like for the citizens to be able to enjoy it. And we're going to have cameras installed there so we can capture any vandals that might want to come up and tamper with what's already installed up there. So we have next week we will announce a date for the basketball game, and we would invite all the citizens in the Tobinville area to come out, enjoy a great game. We're going to probably have some refreshments. We're just going to enjoy a great evening, and that's about it.
Mr. Daves?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. There is a measure before the City Council which appeared today to refund a portion of the City of Mobile's long-term. The City Council Finance Committee will meet 1 week from today on November 13th at 2:00 p.m. in the afternoon in the Council's conference room in order to consider the wisdom of this proposed measure. And that meeting will be open to the public, and we welcome anyone who wants to attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Daves. Mrs. Rich?
Thank you very much. Again, I would like to thank Joyce Davis Reed for organizing and doing the quilting with all of her group for that's of valor. That is a very special group of citizens in our community. And I also am neglectful in not thanking Public Safety Director Jimmy Barber, who helped to coordinate the recipients, and my office is grateful for his participation, and I should have thanked him when he was present, and I apologize for that. On November 8th, which is this coming Thursday, it's the 10th anniversary for the Connie Hudson Senior Center. There'll be a great party out there to celebrate. Also going to award the Volunteer of the Decade, and that will be from 4 to 6 again this coming Thursday, and hope that you'll join me in that wonderful celebration. On November 29th will be the District 6 community meeting, and that will take place also at the Connie Hudson Senior Center from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. We'll have public safety people out there to talk to the citizens, and also the plans for the Grelot Road median improvements, and working with the Alabama Forestry Association, and also our urban forestry, and with public services director, who's been very helpful in coordinating these plans. So again, that's the 29th, which is the Thursday after Thanksgiving, and I look forward to everyone's attendance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Rich. We had a community meeting on last Thursday, which was the 30th of October, at the Mount Gilead Baptist Church. I'm appreciative of Pastor Autry, the members and officers there at Gilead, for allowing us to meet. Our next community meeting, which is our 53rd community meeting. So we're not running from the citizens of District 2. We'll be on Tuesday, November 13th, at the St. Joseph Baptist Church in Mobile. And then we'll have a meeting on December the 11th at the VIA Center, and that will conclude the community meetings for the year. We will have our Christmas Leadership Initiative on the 17th of December at 6 o'clock at the VIA Center. And we're going to honor all leaders. If you have not led anything on but throughout the year, then this is not the event for you. We're inviting the leaders of District 2 to come out But you do have a new opportunity. January 1, wipe the slate clean, and let's work together to make our district the best that it can be. I am appreciative of all the support from every member of this council as I begin this new journey as pastor of the historic St. Joseph Missionary Baptist Church of Whistler, Alabama. I'm appreciative of Councilman Small, Councilman Richardson, Davis, everybody. And I was pleasantly surprised our honored mayor came. You know our church services don't start on time. He was there on time, though. And he stayed the entire time. And I'm appreciative. Now, he had to stand up and go in the old room and walk 2 or 3 times. But he made it to the end. And he was accompanied by Mr. Matt Anderson. And I'm appreciative of you all coming. And even Elizabeth Stevens, I was just totally shocked. Elizabeth Stevens stayed and even fellowship with us. So I'm just appreciative. I would rather not have had the service, because not had would have meant that my dad was still alive. I'd trade anything to bring him back. But I know where he is, and we're going to work to continue to fulfill his vision and the Lord's vision. Any other comments from the council? From the administration? If not, do I hear a motion? Properly motion is second. In discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Started laughing when you talked about